Tonight on Connecticut's news station, a sudden collapse after snowfall. How one farm is picking up the pieces tonight.
So long to the storm that brought us heavy rain and snow, and now gusty winds. When do they diminish? Your forecast coming up.
Plus, cracking down on Tent City. An encampment eviction deadline comes and goes.
We would love if they would allow us to stay here. We put a lot of work into the camp.
Reaction tonight from people living at the site and the response from local leaders.
And keeping teachers in the classroom.
In order for us to be competitive with other careers, we need to step it up.
The efforts at the Capitol to address staffing shortages across the state.
Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on the news at 6. I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Jen Bernstein. While much of the state escaped the nor'easter unscathed, the same cannot be said for a farm in Canaan.
It's now picking up the pieces today following the sudden collapse of a barn on the property. Fox 61's Matt Canaan went to Canaan to survey the damage and speak to the owners.
Well, instead of sulking about the damage, the farmers here at Elm Knoll Dairy instead laced up their boots and got right to work. But at the same time, they are counting their blessings that no one was injured or worse. Farmers are no stranger to hard work, but on this day, sifting through rubble wasn't what they had in mind.
I was in here about probably half hour, 45 minutes before it fell.
6:30 a.m. Wednesday, Elm Knoll Farm in Canaan, a portion of their heifer barn, collapsed under the weight of the nor'easter snow.
6:30 is the prime time when everybody comes in and starts to work in here. So thank God nobody was in here.
But the farm did lose 2 cows just days away from giving birth.
The part of the barn that is destroyed is the maternity pens.
The damage deals a devastating blow to one of Connecticut's treasured dairy farms, a key cog in the local agricultural landscape.
It's a pain in the rump. This will be a setback. I called my insurance company this morning. Doesn't look like it's going to be too hopeful, but that's how life goes.
The barn houses about 400 cows. Most will be able to remain here, but more than a dozen who are about to give birth will need to be relocated. Jake here says he won't let Mother Nature slow him down.
You name it, I've had it happen. I'm 73 years old. I haven't got a thought about doing anything different but to rebuild this when I get time.
Elm Knoll has been serving Connecticut's dairy needs for decades, and there are only 67 dairy farms left in the state of Connecticut. Jake here told me every year it gets more difficult to survive. Farmers are facing inflationary pressures and reduced subsidies from state and the federal government. Reporting in Canaan, Matt Canaan, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Really, really tough, Matt. We are thinking of them for sure. Well, the nor'easter has made its way out of Connecticut, but we're now dealing with some wind.
Yeah, Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now. Rach.
Yeah, that wind has been brutal out there today. It will slowly diminish as we head through the evening tonight. We've got gusts up around 30 miles per hour for the Hartford area, 36 for New Haven, and close to 40 for Bridgeport. But again, we're going to dial these back as we head through the evening tonight, and certainly as we head into the day tomorrow as well. So we'll ease that up. In the meantime, there's actually a wind chill to the air to consider. It's 40 degrees in Hartford, but it feels like 30 to exposed skin. You could feel that if you were out walking around today in Torrington. It feels like 23, and it feels like 36 for the New Haven area. Taking a look, this is the storm. Goodbye, so long. You can see that classic circulation in that counterclockwise direction as it moves away from us. Low temperatures tonight will be falling back into the 20s, and a cool start to the day tomorrow, but a warmer finish as high temperatures rebound up around 50 degrees as we head through the afternoon. And I actually think it's even warmer than this as we head into your St. Patrick's Day on Friday. High temperatures in the middle, maybe even some upper 50s. We could end the work week with the chance for a shower in spots. We'll talk more about the timing of that and what that means as we head into the start of your weekend. Your full forecast coming up in just a few minutes, guys. Okay, Rachel, thank you very much. Well, new tonight, Glastonbury police say a man attempted to assault an officer with a knife
knife as that person responded to a welfare check. It happened on Long Hill Drive this afternoon. Police tell us that officers had to use force to stop the suspect. The suspect was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. The incident remains under investigation.
To New Haven now, where those living in an encampment called Tent City along the West River have been asked to pack up and leave. City leaders say it's for the safety of everyone there, but their deadline to go has come and gone, and some are still there. Fox 61's New Haven County Bureau reporter Julia LeBlanc joining us now live from the encampment. Julia, what's the latest this hour?
Hi, good evening to you. Yes, those here at Tent City were given until 1 o'clock this afternoon to pack up their things and leave. As you can tell here, we still have tents set up and people are still staying here overnight. We are told some have packed up their things and found other housing options in the area. But once again, others are still standing their ground.
Let them tent! Let them live!
This encampment, known as Tent City, has become a home for many.
It has its ups and downs, but we've really made it a family and a community here.
Suki Godak has lived here since July with her husband. After struggling to find housing, this was their only option.
All we have is each other, and I don't want to leave my husband. And if we were to stay in a shelter, we would be separated.
Now, Suki and her neighbors at Tent City have been asked to pack up their things and leave. This is their second notice coming from the city of New Haven in a matter of weeks.
We want to make sure that we can support people as much as possible. At the same time, we got to make sure that people are safe.
Mayor Justin Elliker says they've monitored this encampment for years, but last month they took action after he says they found a shower on site with water running into the river, a few permanent structures, human waste, trash, fuel, and more.
We've given people an opportunity to fix those problems, and ultimately they haven't.
So they were told to leave by 1 p.m. City leaders have been visiting the encampment all day, encouraging people to stay at Columbus House and connecting them to other resources. Some have accepted, others are standing their ground.
We would love if they would allow us to stay here. We put a lot of work into the camp.
For now, city leaders hope to work with them and give them time to go.
Cleanup process is to be determined. But our goal is to get folks, give them enough time to secure their things and to get connected with services.
Now, as for the timeline as to when exactly these tents have to come down, well, that is still unclear at this point. The city, once again, still trying to work with those who are still left here to get them connected to other resources and alternative housing options. Now, in the meantime, the mayor says the real underlying problem here, and something that those here at Tent City agree with, is that there's a lack of affordable housing, not only here in New Haven, not only here in Connecticut, but nationwide. So he is asking those from suburban areas to please step up and help him solve that problem, especially for people like those here at Tent City. We're live here in New Haven tonight. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Julia. New at 6, a Beacon Falls farm owner is facing animal cruelty charges after dozens of sheep and a goose were found to be neglected. David Chesnustis is now facing charges, accused of neglecting 99 sheep and 1 goose. The animals were taken from the farm last month after a complaint from a neighbor. Attorney General William Tong is now moving for the state to take custody of the animals.
Aquarian customers won't see any rate increases and will actually see costs go down starting today. State regulators voted to reduce rates for more than 200,000 customers today and rejected Aquarian Water Company's proposal for a rate increase over the next several years. Today's decision means about $67 are going to be back in customers' pockets when it comes to yearly costs. They also okayed a new 3-tier pricing structure for any single family customers. So if you use less water, you're going to pay even less.
New tonight, educators calling on the state legislature to pass new measures they say will end Connecticut's teacher shortage and improve schools.
Yeah, Fox 61's political reporter Emma Wolfhorst joins us now in studio with why they're calling this a historic moment. Emma.
Jen, Ben, advocates and lawmakers behind these bills see right now Connecticut has an education crisis, but at the same time also has the resources to solve it. Those resources, money in the state budget, they want to go toward improving teacher recruitment and retention.
Teachers are leaving mid-year. Some teachers are leaving in the middle of a day.
Teachers painting a grim picture Wednesday of the current state of education in Connecticut.
My brother, who works in finance, has a yearly bonus greater than my salary.
It took a toll on me mentally. Never mind just physically.
Teachers, advocates, and lawmakers are urging the state legislature to pass 2 measures they believe will reverse the current teacher shortage and address recruitment and retention issues.
It's really hard to look past such a large factor such as a salary in your career choice.
The 2 proposals would increase teacher pay by implementing a statewide minimum salary, provide pandemic pension benefits, raise the starting age for kindergarten from 4 to 5, implement uninterrupted prep time, create an educator bill of rights, and more.
We've been so eager to support our teachers because we know supporting them is the most important thing we can do to support our children.
Lawmakers on the Education Committee hearing public comment on these 2 bills Wednesday, with more than 600 teachers submitting written testimony.
Now we have to get it across the goal line, past and secure the future of our educators, our schools, and the future of our children.
And that Education Committee public hearing still going on right now. It's on about hour 5. The next step for these measures, a committee vote in the coming weeks. Ben, Jen.
Well, thank you. Today, Treasurer Eric Russell and other lawmakers spent some time at Windsor High School promoting a program that would set aside state-managed money for children born into poverty. Under the Connecticut Baby Bond Program, a child that's born under Husky insurance would get a baby bond. The Office of the Treasurer would then manage those funds, and then when that child reaches age old enough, adulthood, they would get those funds. They have to use the funds to buy a home, start a business, pay for education, or save for retirement. Connecticut was the first state in the entire nation to pass a baby bonds initiative back in 2021, and the program is supposed to start in July of this year. However, it needs $600 million in funding.
We're really excited about the opportunity to make this long-term investment in really addressing the wealth and racial disparities that we have in our state. And I think we have a huge opportunity.
If the funding isn't there in time for July, the legislature would have to push back that start date yet again.